Okay, so we're going to be looking at converse, inverse, contrapositives, and biconditionals. So for this whole first section, I'm going to be using the exact same example as my base. And my example says, if it is Independence Day, then it is July. So just like we did with our conditional statements, we're going to identify the hypothesis. Remember, the hypothesis is everything after the word if. So if it is Independence Day, so this is my hypothesis, then it is July. The conclusion is everything after then. So my conclusion. Now, we talked about truth values last time, and remember, truth values, you read your conditional statement as kind of an extreme. If it is Independence Day, then it can only be July. And we're talking about the US Independence Day, not in other countries. So the United States Independence Day happens in July. So if we are celebrating Independence Day, we have to be in the month of July. So our truth value for this is true. Now we're going to look at writing the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of this statement. So we're going to be changing some things, switching some things, and then checking to see if the truth value holds true each time. So the converse, when we do the converse, we switch the hypothesis and the conclusion. We just switch their places. The if and then stay put, but the phrases for the hypothesis and the conclusion switch places. So when I rewrite this, it would say if it is July, comma, then it is Independence Day. And you might need to make some adjustments for grammar. So just keep that in mind. Read it as a sentence. Does it make sense? Should you change a word? Should you change a phrase just a little bit so that grammatically it makes sense? So now let's think about the truth value for this. If it is July, then it is Independence Day. If you are in the month of July, do you have to be on July 4th, which is Independence Day? Or could you be, if I said it's July, could I also be talking about July 7th, July 10th, July 21st? There are several days within July. So our hypothesis is saying, well, if you're in the month of July, and the conclusion is saying, well, then it has to be Independence Day, it has to be July 4th. That is false. That is false. And you could give as a counterexample any other day in July. July 6th, July 31st, any other day, any of those work. For the inverse, we do something called negate. We negate or say not, don't, or won't to the hypothesis and the conclusion. So we basically add a no to the beginning of each one. So my new example would say, if it is not Independence Day, and we're going back to the original hypothesis and conclusion statement. If it is not Independence Day, then it is not July. If it is not Independence Day, then it is not July. So again, we have to look at this when we're thinking about the truth value. It is saying, if today is not July 4th, if it is not Independence Day, then there's no way it could be any other day in July. There's no way, if today is not July 4th, that we are in July 30th or July 5th or July 1st. So this truth value is also false. And again, your counterexample would be any other day in July. So pick a random day in July, and that works. My birthday's in July, so of course, it exists. It's not on Independence Day. Now the contrapositive, so again, we go back to the original example. If it is Independence Day, then it is July. But with the contrapositive, we do both the inverse and converse. So we switch and negate. Switch and negate the hypothesis and conclusion. Switch and negate the hypothesis and conclusion. So I'm going to bring July up to the front and send Independence Day to the back, but also add not. So if it is not July, then it is not Independence Day. And to decide our truth value here, if it's not July, then there's no way it could be Independence Day. I'm not saying it could not be another day in July, but if we are not in the month of July, it is definitely not possible for Independence Day to happen. And that is true. That is true. So if we look at our example, we had if it is Independence Day, then it is July. And that was true. The only other truth value that was also true was the contrapositive. So your conditional statement, our example, the truth value should match the truth value of the contrapositive. And if you look at the converse and inverse, those two truth values also match as well. So you'll notice that as we go through and identify truth values for converse, inverse, and contrapositives, that there is a trend in the relationship between their truth values. Now I'm going to look at this example. It asks us to write the inverse of the statement, if it is Labor Day, then it is a Monday. The inverse would be to negate everything. So if it is not Labor Day, then it is not a Monday. If it is not Labor Day, then it is not Monday. And so we have to decide the truth value. This is saying if it's not Labor Day, there's no other day that occurs on a Monday. Well, we have other holidays even that land on a Monday, and one of those is Memorial Day. So this is false. I mean, you could say any other Monday of the year, but you could also pick a holiday that always happens on a Monday, which is Memorial Day. One last example, and I'll let you go. This one says, which of the following is the contrapositive, which tells us to negate and switch the statement? So it says, if x minus 8 equals 32, then x equals 40. When we are dealing with equations and we're writing the converse, inverse, and contrapositive, when you're negating an equation, so you have an equal sign, the negation would be not equals, which is an equal sign with a slash through it. So be mindful of that. The equal sign with a slash through it says not equals, and that's the negation of equals. So if I know I'm going to be negating and switching, I know I'm going to negate, so I can eliminate answers that have an equal sign instead of a not equals. So I can eliminate A because it has two equal signs. Remember, the contrapositive has you negate everything. So both equal signs are going to need to have the line through it. So I can eliminate C. So now I need to look at which ones are negated and switched. So I'm going to switch the location of the hypothesis and conclusion. If I look at B, I still have x minus 8 at the front. That is not switching places. So my answer has to be D, which has the x doesn't equal 40 and x minus 8 does not equal 32, switched into the proper positions.